Hey, how's it going? Kane here. Today, I want to clear up something that a lot of people who are just getting started with the markets get confused about. And the topic is on who gets the money if I buy a stock or who gets the money if I buy an option. A lot of people have concerns about where their money goes. They don't want to support certain types of corporations. They believe that certain corporations go against their ideals, and so they don't want money to go towards those corporations. When I was a professional money manager, one of the rules that we were constantly looking out for were specific rules about certain types of investments that were not allowed. For example, when we invested money for the Mormon church, we were not allowed what were called considered sin stocks. So we were not allowed to invest in anything that was alcohol or tobacco or marijuana or firearms related. And some people have concerns about, oh, I really only want to invest in companies that are green or have some sort of DEI initiative or something like that. Well, the misconception behind that is that if we go and we invest into a stock or into an option, that the money goes to the company. It sort of makes sense. If I go and I buy Microsoft stock, a lot of people think that my money goes to Microsoft and I'm giving them money and I'm making them richer or I'm helping them fund their business or whatever it is. But that's simply not true. What happens is that when we buy from the markets, we enter into what is called the secondary markets. There are two main markets that the markets are divided into, whether we're talking about the um, the bond markets or fixed income markets or the debt markets, or if we're talking about the equity markets. So there's generally what were called the primary markets and what are called the secondary markets. Now, primary markets are pretty much limited to really large institutions. It is extremely difficult for an individual or a retail trader to participate in the primary markets. That's when we have things like IPOs or issuances of new stocks. It's very extremely difficult, if not impossible, for a retail trader to actually participate in that. And it's only in the primary markets where a company actually receives the money from the sale of a stock or and definitely they don't get it for the sale of an option. So when you go and you buy Microsoft stock or Apple stock or Tesla stock, that money doesn't go into the pockets of Apple or Microsoft or Tesla. Elon Musk never sees a penny of that money. Tim Cook never sees a penny of that money. Bill Gates never sees a penny of that money. So anyone who has this concern where I'm putting money into a company and I'm giving them money is actually not what's happening. What has happened is that company IPO'd into the primary markets and a bunch of institutions bought them. Then the institutions started to buy and sell and trade them on the secondary markets. And that's where we buy them from. So when we buy stocks, we generally are buying from another counterparty. We're from another investor. So whether that's another individual, that's possible, or more likely, we're buying it from an institution. So the money really just goes to that institution. It never goes back to the original company whose stock we are purchasing. When it comes to an options trade, well, our money goes to a market maker. The options market maker is the counterparty for every single purchase or sale in the options market. That's not true in the equities markets. In the equities markets, you could be selling your stock to me. That's possible. Or I could be selling your stock to grandma down the street. Or I could be selling it to a large bank or a large institution, a large hedge fund. But it's never going to be the company itself. So when you are buying shares, unless it's a new issuance, in which case it would go back to the primary markets anyways, your money is never going into those exact corporations. So for anyone who has those concerns about, oh, I don't want my money to go into these stocks that I consider unethical, I don't believe what they believe in, or have some sort of social cause that they're not upholding or they're against, well, for me, it's not a concern because they never actually get that money. So you may still believe otherwise, but at least we've cleared up this misconception that your money goes directly to that company. Now, why? So why do companies care about their stock price then if what I said is true? If they don't get any of the money that when their stock exchanges hands, why is it that they might care about their prices? Well, the answer is because every single shareholder has a vote and gets a say in the company. They get voting rights. And one of the things, the most common things, or one of the few things that people actually vote on are the board of directors. And the board of directors, if they want to keep their seat on the board of directors, they need the votes in order to keep their seats. And one way to help ensure that they get the votes is that, hey, our share price is up. Our share price is up. We keep on going up. And there's no reason for the shareholders to vote them out of their position. So that's only the main reason why they may care about the share price. A lot of us have this conception that they are legally required to maximize shareholder value. That's not exactly true either. They are not legally required. They are legally required to act in the best interests of the company and all its members. So that means its employees, its shareholders, its suppliers, its customers. They're legally required to act in the best interest of these people, not just the shareholders. So it's not their job necessarily to maximize shareholder value, but it's been interpreted as their job because usually by maximizing the shareholder value, that keeps everybody happy and that keeps the board of directors in place. So the next time you go and you buy a stock, don't worry about your money might be going to that company. Or if you're saying, hey, let's help out Elon Musk and let's go buy more Tesla stock, you're not really helping him unless Elon Musk decides to dump a whole bunch of shares at an all-time high or something like that. So really, they're not really benefiting all that much, not directly anyways, from the sale or the purchase or the stock price. It's only if they decide to liquidate a portion of their wealth, if they happen to have a chunk of stocks themselves, where they might actually be affected. But when you go and you sell your stock, no one on the board, no one in that company, no one even related to that company benefits or gets the money from your purchase. Okay, so that's the first misconception that I wanted to clarify for everyone. Hopefully you learned something new and you understand a little bit better how these markets work.